Back to chilling. He's gone.
Greetings in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. I'm Andre, and joined here by Ed and Ray, and we will be continuing with part 2 of the reading here. All right, so let's get to it.
Where's Fred?
I don't know. Hopefully he'll show up sometime. Cool. Or I have a question. I feel a sense of loss in the path where a few years back I experienced a state of high vibration and much light, love, and unity. And as my path has unfolded, I have felt thrown into the school of earth once more to feel pain and suffering like all humans. And as I have grown to accept this as a lesson in healing, I have found peace. Yet I still feel this strong feeling of wanting to return to that state. Can you help me and others that might be in a similar position with this paradox?
Can I just say, I've had this so many times. This is such a good question.
Great. We are those of Kuro, and have received and appreciate this query, my brother, for it is one you, as you know, are certainly not alone in expressing. Indeed, rare is the entity, if not almost non-existent within your world, who does not traverse through episodes such as you describe, often cyclically throughout the journey. It is the nature of your third density experience and the sojourn through this illusion that your feet not travel solely upon the higher elevations, shall we say, where the view is expansive, where the perspective broadened, and where one can see the overarching beauty of a more holistic vision that sees the valleys, the dry places, the marshes, the deep dark forest as parts of a whole which is beautiful, and thus has a certainty and a zest in the stepping of the feet as the self moves forward from strength to strength, seeking the light, ready for what may come, feeling strong within the self. For the terrain that you walk is a varied one, and that path which you travel is destined to move through many sites and places, each with its own lesson and reflection to impart about the self. As it is only in passing through those places, the valley where the sun may be seen little, the maze of forests where the path may seem to be out of sight as the self wanders, the arid circumstance where nourishment seems to be few and far between, that the seeker will have the opportunity to ask itself questions it may not have otherwise asked in the high place, where the seeker may meet opportunities of transformation, where he or she decides to set something aside which is weighing the self down, or through this environment through which the self travels. Or the seeker may face new faces and hearts who the seeker may otherwise have not met, who may offer the self new reflection, or even a recurring reflection of a theme, but from a new aspect. And once again, the self is given novel opportunity to dig into those central themes of the life, to make those themes more conscious and clear, that the self may work with them once again, but from a new vantage point. What is lost, our friends, seemingly, is not the connection to source, is not the momentum of the journey, is not the knowledge that one had seemed to gain, but rather merely the perspective that one had enjoyed previously simply because of certain limitations and modes of their present chapter in the journey. To say it is lost would be for the trees during the winter season to say that the sun and the warmth and the source of light are lost, and yearn for the return of spring and summer. It is natural for this yearning. We do not in any way indicate error. Instead, we invoke this metaphor as a point for your own contemplation and consideration in the cyclical, seasonal, episodic nature of the journey. There are times intended for greater confusion. This confusion is not necessarily indicative of losing one's way, but is rather productive for that which it inspires within the self. In your case, my brother, this seeming distance from that which you enjoyed formerly, and the questions of uncertainty that seep into the mind, are that which inspires your duckling feet to paddle beneath the water to do the work. And this is where faith is most developed, for when the light is sensed strongly and one feels centered and balanced and able to withstand and greet the catalyst of the day with the open heart, things are easier. The way forward is seen with greater vision. Faith need be less invoked. In circumstances such as you described, the seeker is lucky to look down and see the ground upon which they stand, much less that which awaits at the next step and the next. They are in a darkness, so to speak, of unknowing, of not seeing, and in that darkness is ample opportunity for doubting the self, doubting how the self got there in the first place, doubting what may come, or if the self has the resources or the ability to make their way out, shall we say. And in the absence of light reflected into the eyes of the path ahead, one sees only by faith. This may be described as an essential trust. One has no hard evidence, you may say, that in fact, underneath the illusion of appearances, all is well and the self is on track. One has no great map in this, as you have described, abyss. One instead leaps into the unknown as a volitional act of will in a declaration that says, perhaps with words, but not merely with words, with the fullness and totality of one's being, that I will trust. I trust that whatever the surface appearance, whatever the threats or disasters that may seem to be lurking around the next corner, I trust that I am in the hands of the infinite one being. The human intelligence that I use to analyze and guide my journey and make choices is but a small reflection of an infinite intelligence from which I am inseparable. That intelligence is with me, is in me, and is in each moment and person I encounter, is in the design of that illusion through which I travel, and the infinite love and awareness supports my every decision and can be accessed and tapped into a more conscious and palpable fashion in proportion to the degree to which I can faithfully learn to release the fear, the anxiety about what may come, the desire to control that which is outside of my control, and open my heart and trust by loving, by practicing love upon myself and upon other selves, and by intending to seek the light. I am held. I am not lost. And the deeper you engage these practices, which you and you alone can render in your life, as we offer only principles for your consideration within the garden of your heart and the deep dark soil of your, shall we say, winter times or times of confusion, the more will bloom that fruit of self-realization that discovers that self that is beyond this concept that you entertain of lostness, that self that is beyond whatever choice is before you or whatever terrain through which you walk, that self which you always are, which is not the role that you play currently as an incarnate actor. And thus, in that balance whereby you must still be and operate this incarnate actor, you may also rest back into the perfection and move through the portal of faith that you move, and the more you may discover and abide within this perfection, the more paradoxically the circumstances of the illusion may transform and conform to reflect this understanding of perfection. It is through this acceptance of imperfection that such transpires. All right. So, what do you guys think of that? So they're basically saying, that's your impetus to do something. Is that right? Or is there more to it?
Okay, so for me, I was hoping they were just going to give you like a super quick way of sorting it out. Like when you're down, do this kind of thing, you'll be fine. But to be fair, what they describe is kind of what I do now. Yeah, see the creator in all things, learn the lessons of love. Yeah, it doesn't matter what situation comes up, no matter how much it affects you emotionally or your life or whatever else. Those are like egoic issues, And like once you start, separating the yellow ray from the other energy bodies, you kind of see its influence rather than, and you don't put the kind of importance on it. Yeah, because of the fact that that whatever's coming, doesn't matter what it is, it's going to be perfect. Yeah, everything is always perfect. Yeah, whatever you go through, no matter how messed up or whatever, it's exactly what you needed to go through. Yeah, if you're on your path, and you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing, then you designed these things. These are the things that you need. You reflect back to help you get better. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're at the point when you're really down, and you don't feel that connection to source, you see anger and negativity everywhere around you, just realize that you've got to experience the negativity to fully understand the positivity. You've got to be right there in the dirt in order to help people climb out. And so by embracing that catalyst from that point of view, that perspective, then you can work your way back up to that enlightened place.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're
your
spot on,
actions.
Ed. I think you're spot on.
Thanks, dude. Because I have to say that's kind of how I deal with things now, man. When someone brings something to me, like it doesn't matter what it is, how upset I am for them or whatever else, but every single thing I just see as an opportunity for to show them, once again, trust. That thing that you said, trust that the universe will sort it out. Trust that there's something there to catch you when you fall. That that it's not hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all creator, right? Anything
or
that
understand
happens
that there is
is
no
creator
fault.
doing that to you as creator.
Yeah.
Trust it's going to be good. Trust in the love.
Yeah.
That's why I see things anyway, man. So I fully love it when it all matches up. It makes me feel like I'm doing the things right. Like, yay! I've learned that lesson. Yay! Woohoo!
Yay!
That's how Corey does it too. Yay!
Mm-hmm. Basically.
I thought it was a very beautiful passage.
Oh, me too. Right, once again, I've said this so many times. Like, I love how Ra puts things in a way that is so epically concise, this near cryptic, yeah? But I just adore the poetic flow that comes out of quote, Like, I find that each, when you get Latway, Hannah, like, they've all got very kind of specific-y, kind of, mannerisms, I suppose you could say, But like sometimes quotes like that from Quo are they're just mind blowing. Like, I don't know, it's like reading beautiful poetry that is blow your mind, fucking real esoteric truth.
Fair enough.
Sorry, dude. I do like chatting, don't I? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. You're doing great. You're doing great. Let me see. So the summary here is quite similar to what you were saying. Understand the cyclical nature of the journey, embrace varied terrains, seek transformation in every phase. So use challenging times as opportunity for deeper transformations, maintain connection to the source, trust the process, invoke faith and trust, release control and fear, engage in deep practices, and accept your imperfections, and then grow continually. I mean, it is kind of it's all good stuff.
See, the thing is, I think that if he's talking about like the guy that asked the question, was talking about having this enlightened state, having this point where you reach, samadhi state, right? And like I've had it where like a few days after I have a crazy fucking meditation where I do shoot out the top of my head or whatever, I do feel like I'm just walking on cloud nine, like nothing can touch, like nothing can bother me. You know what I mean? But you don't get those very often. They're like an every so often one. So that feeling of like connection and oneness with everything kind of goes, and you get dragged back into all the gore,
Well, I don't know. Maybe I just keep too busy, but I generally don't feel like the ups and downs so much. I mean, like I do have ups and downs. They're just like all on a higher up, kind of like they're in relation to a fairly high level of up, and so it's kind of like a high levels of joy and slightly less levels of joy, but it's still kind of joy, and the main.
Well, I think you're actually kind of a joy guy. So is it like the joy and pleasure, right? That's a duality in Buddhism. Yeah. So, pleasure is a thing that everyone gets, and it's very quick and fulfilling, but over very fast, and then you have to get more pleasure. So it's something you seek and you chase. Whereas joy is something that's very difficult to get. You have to build it. It takes time. It takes effort. But then when you get it, it lasts forever.
Yeah.
You seem like a joy dude.
Well, equanimity. Well, there's the path of joy, right? The path of joy is about gratitude. It's basically about having gratitude for the things you already have, and then as you have and then also recognizing that they're impermanent and that they're temporary.
They're Maya, man.
Yeah, so being willing to, at the same time as you're enjoying them in the now, also being willing to let go of them. And so that way, and then when something leaves, then that creates an absence for something new. And
something I've always said, that I feel is prevalent, is that you should be able to carry everything you need. Yeah, don't get me wrong, you can have loads of other things and whatever else, but just purely as a human being, the things that really matter, you need to have. You should be able to just have a bag, a rucksack, or whatever, and you should be able to carry them all. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry, I agree.
All right. Well, I guess we'll do the next question as we didn't really. Okay. Yes, Kuo. I have a question about energy a little bit. I'm curious, being an energy healer, I'm curious if it is necessary for one to always have to use their hands to, say, heal others or myself. And if not, are there ways to practice ones could use that work just the same? We are those of Kyo, and thank you for the squaring, my brother. The offering of the catalyst of the healer to the one which wishes to be healed may take as many forms as there are healers, and when one's wishing to be healed. The hands specifically are a powerful manner of expressing the beingness of the healer, that the catalyst may be offered on a variety of levels, as the hands and the appendages to which they are connected that flow into and from the body may express the will of the healer, and may allow the healer dexterity in an outwardly expressed fashion to move and manipulate, enhance and intensify, offer the energy to the one wishing to be healed. The hands as such may be an indispensable tool to any such healer, but as the earlier portion of our reply indicated, what is on offer from the healer is not simply or merely the skillful movement of energy. Rather, the most powerful is the beingness of the healer, the quality of the presence of the healer, the radiation of realization of oneness with the creator of the healer. The healer offers themselves as a portal from and to their ground of being, of all beings, of all sentient creatures. The healer is a conduit, shall we say, to the realm of the infinite for the self who wishes to be healed. As you know, our brother, the healer is not the one responsible for doing the healing, but rather the offering of the opportunity that the one to be healed may recognize its deeper, truer, broader self and adopt a larger, shall we say, configuration for the self, a new or novel configuration for the self that releases the identification with the disease or limitation or symptom which led them upon this path of seeking healing. It is this opportunity that the healer offers and is a function and outgrowth, first and foremost, of the healer's work upon itself, to heal and forgive the errors as you may see them, the trauma and the wounding, and the various ways that the healer, as with all beings, misapprehends the Creator, to restore the healer from this identification with a small and mortal, fallible self, conditioned by a world which is stuck chronically in the blockages and imbalances of the lower rays, to a vision of the deeper self as a being whole, complete, and perfect, which is to say, being divine. The healer, in doing the work upon themselves, learn skillfully not only to open the gateway which the infinity may flow through, but to discover the self as not other than the infinity, that one being which pervades all manifestation. The healer opens this doorway through this difficult but necessary step of surrendering the sense of being unworthy of this light. not through a great, as you might see it, egoic declaration that says, I am worthy because, and then listing one's virtues or accomplishments or positive qualities, but rather releases the self-judgment and self-negation that obscures the clouds, the true nature, releases the conditioning which each in this circle and each upon your planet have absorbed about the unfit and unworthy nature of the self, in the recognition that the self is perfect, as the self is now. This, as one known as T was describing in your circle previously, is a chief fruit of that which we have described as the disciplines of the personality, to know oneself, to accept oneself, to become the creator. This, my friend, is a worth that is synonymous also with true humility, for it is a rendering transparent of the personality, not an intensification or enlargement of the personality, but recognition that the personality, however it may be presenting, however necessarily and unavoidably flawed and imbalanced, is a perfect spark of the Creator. Which is not to say that there's never work to do in perfecting, healing, and clearing that personality, for you will be called even more strongly to this work the more you attempt to make contact with and channel this divine core of your own nature. One's blockages will become brighter, louder, and call the attention even more so, which is why, as we have counseled previously, it may also be dangerous to strengthen the will and make this contact, for the opportunity for imbalance becomes greater. But if the self is true to the work, they may use the enhanced opportunity made available. We find, meandered to some degree, my brother, in attempting to speak to the greater, more fundamental work of the healer, but as this instrument would humorously say, the TL semicolon DR version may be that the hands indeed may not be necessary, but this is for the individual healer to find and discover as a necessary portion of the journey how it is they wish to offer the fruits of their own work, and to those to whom they wish to offer the catalyst of healing. All right. And that.
Okay, so basically what he's saying is, yeah,
Mhm.
as long as
Mhm.
you and the other person believe what's happening is happening, doesn't matter how you do it.
Well, he's saying, I think they're saying the important part is you channeling the creator, or
Yeah,
how
okay,
close
so
you are
that's
to
how
the
you do
creator.
it. That's how you do it. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is that, you know, my thoughts during this, yeah, is that maybe I should really consider trying to do some healing. Right? Just because all of the processes he describes is the kind of energy work that I try to do all the time. Yeah. So maybe I just haven't found my calling yet, and maybe that's the point. Like, I can literally feel just right now. I can feel an inward flow in this hand, outward flow in that hand. I've been going recently. Like, I read this book recently about kind of, you know, the aura and stuff, and I've been going around literally feeling the densities of people's auras. Yeah, I can pick up a crystal, and it's like it talks to me. Yeah. You know, I can feel like pushing force out now, and I can literally, like, I can block it, and I can kind of move it around. It feels like water flowing. Like, how can I not? From what that's saying, all the same processes. Knowing that I'm creator, knowing that they're creator, knowing that everything that we do is just channeling, and it's always perfect. Like, all of those things are, like, according to that, what makes you a good healer.
So wouldn't that technically make each one of us, at least in some capacity, maybe even if it's only once in our lifetime, somewhat of a healer? If this is the journey we're on.
Yeah. In fact, realistically, if you read lots of these things, yeah, all of the stuff we're doing, all the work we're doing, should be opening up and activating different bits of our brain that we wouldn't use unless we were doing these things. Yeah, that's how clairvoyance kicks in. That's how, you know, mediumship. That's how you learn to channel. You know, you do things that activate systems that are there but just not used properly, or they are used just not in the way that they can be. You know, so why not? Those actually kind of, like, you know, just like, progress with. But yeah, it just says you don't need your hands, right? So all this stuff I'm doing with my hands and that, dude, apparently you can just talk people into it.
Well, apparently setting the example is the main thing. setting that example of being the one infinite creator is the main thing that helps people heal, because from my understanding, disease is basically falling away from the creator, or going off of your spiritual path. And
Going away from
so
the ease, this no longer easy.
Showing others how you are, not bragging about it, but
You don't want to be
genuinely
going around like,
being
I
part of
am
the one
God,
infinite
I am
creator.
God.
Yes.
No need that.
Here's your diverse. There's many healing methods. Power of presence. The healer presence are central to the healing process. The healer is a conduit of the infinite creator's energy. And the healer provides opportunities to adopt a new, broader self configuration. Healing begins with the healer's own self healing and forgiveness. Understanding, accepting oneself as a whole, complete, and divine is crucial.
Okay, so the last question, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about, like, when you have the highs and lows and you get the plateau bits and you have the doubts and these other bits, one of the most important things to do in that bit, I found ages ago, is this whole shadow work thing. You go through and pull yourself apart and look at all the bits. Yeah, I'd done all that before I even met all you guys, do you know what I mean? But the reason it's so important is because of stuff like this. Like doing that work inside yourself, owning those demons, putting leashes on them, giving them cute names, rather than letting them run around doing what they want. Keeping those under control and learning what you actually are, how incredible an entity this little physical vehicle and the thing that inhabits it is. When you find all those things, I suppose maybe that's the thing that activates stuff, right? That we're talking about. So maybe that's the whole point, just by having those realizations, purely by living by being with Creator, not going around saying I am God, but telling everyone in the world that they're God.
Yeah, and embracing. I think go ahead.
Part of the shadow work thing that they're talking about knowing yourself, is. Yeah, it's nice to know all the lovey-dovey, wonderful ways you can be, but the shadow work, like Ed was saying, is important because you got to know how destructive you are. Because if you don't know how destructive you are and how to control that, then you're not a peaceful person. You're harmless. And when somebody's harmless, no one's going to listen to you. But if you're peaceful, that means that you fully know well how to defend yourself and maybe cause some serious destruction, but you choose on your own free will to not do that and to be peaceful and control yourself. So that
100%,
has a different,
dude.
that has a different.
In ancient, I think it was Aztec or one of the South American ones. Yeah, they used to have a thing that only predators go to heaven. Yeah, because you've got to have the power to kill things and choose not to. Exactly what we're talking about, man.
Yeah, it makes sense because you're consciously choosing non-violence in a very bellicose environment.
Like I said, like Quo said the other week, we are here to train the universe in how to be heroes. Right, that requires the same thing. Yeah, it requires the fact that we know we are a dangerous creature that could topple the world, do whatever we are. One singular man could change everything by heroic action. But we also know that, we're love. We don't want that. We want to live in peace. Everyone wants the same things, just to be happy. So stepping up with our thumbs and our bright burning light in our heart chakra, we're teaching the universe to pick up a righteous sword and fight for good. You can't do that if you're some little pussy that's like, I'm quite happy to be a lamb. I like being a lamb. No. Well, man, I could blow up government buildings. I could do crazy. I could literally wreak hell on my own. But I won't, because I'm all about love. you know what I'm saying? And that right there is
As
choosing
the
not to do
infinite
those things.
creator, yeah, it's both the force of destruction and creation. And the service to others path is the path of service and love and kindness and forgiveness and acceptance. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Even if you're a really angry monster,
Well, the thing
you
is that
choose to make those choices to follow that path.
if you practice the service to others practices, then your anger will become patience.
Mine is 100%.
And
Like I have all of those things, and
fear
that
becomes
once again, that's
love
part of the shadow work.
all
Yeah,
those things. Yeah.
realizing, and putting a leash on them so that you don't react that way. So you have patience. So when you're in a situation like that, the reactions that you have are, they're thought about. They're positive actions rather than just reacting because of whatever emotional stimulus you got. That's how you control these demons, and it takes time, and you've got to realize what your problems are, and you've got to be super strict and super honest with yourself, because otherwise it just doesn't work. You're just lying, just pretending they're still there.
Mm-hmm.
So that, Andre, that makes sense then. When like this January, when I had a bunch of crazy shit happen, my immediate first response, well, immediately your first advice you get is retaliation. To kind of, I would never do that. You should kill that bitch, blah, 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 and yeah, I'm angry. I was really, really angry. Not only angry me about what happened to me, but I mean, it could have potentially affected other people. So I was really mad, but my ended up being my response was just to calm down, do legally what I'm required to do, what would the law tell you, and wait and see how it plays out. Just let it play out the way that it's supposed to play out. Do the right thing. Don't do anything stupid. Don't hurt. Because no matter what, if I had retaliated physically, it wouldn't have ended well for me at all, and I wouldn't even be able to see my kids at all. I'd be in jail. So
Right.
that
Exactly.
right there, 10 years ago, I might not have reacted that way. I might have exploded. You know what I mean? So I can see how you said anger, it turns into patience, which, yeah. What else is left for it to turn into?
I agree, dude. Because you also got to do the whole Jesus thing, man. Like your enemy is the biggest mirror. You should, especially individuals, like people, they should never be the catalyst that leads to kind of a violence thing. Like when I'm talking about we're trying to teach people to be heroes, I mean, like, overthrow oppression, overthrow the dominance and the evil
within yourself.
People shouldn't be doing that to each other. Yeah, at all. Yeah, if
as we heal
everyone had the
ourselves,
same
we heal
light
the
and
world.
feelings we had, we wouldn't need those rules. We wouldn't need, because people wouldn't do these things.
So let's look at the next one here. Cool.
Yes, let's carry on. Sorry.
Seeing as
Keep
the
digressing.
entirety of the LL Research Group's channeling sessions. Oh, well, they were saying how it's 50th year anniversary this year.
Wow, that's amazing, right?
Seeing as the entirety of the LL Research Group's channeling sessions have been basically downloaded into my subconscious through my careful conscious reading of all the many transcripts, will this database then continue to be available to my subconscious and my somewhat near conscious self for years and years to come? I'm assuming that if somehow my conscious thoughts refrain from visiting these concepts and philosophies for any considerable length of time, will this knowledge then fade away significantly, much like one learns another language and then doesn't use it? Or is it more of a lasting, enduring effect? I'm Kuo, and am aware of your query, my brother. The knowledge which you have observed and absorbed, my brother, is that which is abundant in its scope and its depth and application to your own life experience, as well as any conscious spiritual seeker's life experience. It is indeed registered within what you know of your subconscious mind, as is so much other information from other incarnations, so that you have a vast library of information that is available to you through your subconscious mind. If your conscious mind has the determination and desire to seek that information in any particular portion of your life experience, it is your conscious mind which has the intention to do so. That is the determining factor in whether or not this information shall be available to you in your future. For it is that which is, as you have noted, practiced on a more conscious and continuous level that allows one to be able to recall that which has been studied in the past, that which has played a role in the present and in the future. This is a process which each spiritual seeker goes through, for whether it is the LL Research Library, any book of inspiration, any series of experiences that have enlightened one throughout the lifetime experience, then these also become part of that library. You are, as you become a spiritual seeker of truth and continue on this journey, one which continues to add books to the self, shall we say, of the subconscious mind. These books are there in full to the subconscious mind and will be available to the conscious mind if desired by the conscious mind. So you are on a journey which has no end as you continue to gather experience. This is the true illuminator of your mind, your body, and your spirit. This is a journey which is that of many lifetimes, many densities, and much joy and learning that accrue from these applications of that which you have learned in your past. Your past becomes that library as well. So there are so many different sources of information to aid you on your journey that you will always be able to access that which is most needed at the moment. The need of the moment is that which is of the most importance, for in that present moment exists the infinity of time and space, and in this present moment you are moving forward on your spiritual journey, as is each spiritual seeker of truth. There is a follow-up, but I guess we'll talk about what we've got so far.
Okay, yeah.
So he basically.
Before I jump in?
Okay, go ahead. Oh well,
No,
yeah. I was
anyone
gonna
else got
say
anything?
that. I was gonna say that for my take on it. Oh, where did Ed go? Was that it's about? It's saying the main thing is your conscious awareness, and if you want to remember, you will, and if you don't, you won't. Ray or Fred, do you guys have any commentary on it?
So it's basically saying that we have complete full access to every one of our experiences and everything we've ever learned, regardless of the time frame. Basically,
Yeah,
because of
so.
time doesn't really matter; it only matters in the moment. So our entire choice of every incarnation we've ever experienced is available to us then.
Yeah. If you consciously want to, you will kind of remember it. That's my understanding.
Huh.
Yeah,
So,
because I mean, that's how you remember past lives, right?
Right. But my question would be, how do I know exactly when I'm getting information from a past, or you say past life experience? They're all just they're not. There's really no such thing, I guess, as past life. But an alternate experience. How do I know that that's the information I'm getting, and I'm not just getting? It's not just a dream, or it's not just maybe a remote viewing or astral traveling or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's me seeing something that I experienced in another lifetime.
Well, you don't, and you can never be certain. But like they said over here, that here your past. So there are different sources of. You will always be able to access that which is most needed at the moment.
Mm.
That's kind of the crucial point here.
So is that the best question to ask when you're seeing things like that? Like, show me what's needed the most in the moment.
Yes, that is almost always the best question to ask. What is the thing that I can be doing that is of most high service to the one infinite creator right now? In my thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. That's how I like to approach it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look at that library. That's a nice library. Where did Ed go?
I don't know. My thing's been freaking out and kicking me on and off, so I don't know what's going on with my.
Weird. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I
I got
went
a
out.
private.
I came outside, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll have better reception out here or whatever. But it's still, see, it's giving me a red bar right now because I turned on my camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ray
I
has a
don't know if
red bar
it's
too.
bandwidth or what. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Strange. Yeah, I know. I have a 1.5 gigabit connection, so it's not on my end. I don't think, anyways. Yeah, but they do throttle it sometimes. But they're not supposed to, because I mean, I'm paying for
I
it.
have a tendency to heat up my phone when I conversate too much.
Yeah. Well, you said you got that new phone that heats up a lot. Because you guys don't have Chinese phones in America or something, or Hawaii
No,
phones.
no.
You only have the Korean ones, Samsung.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but I mean, Apple's made in China too, right?
I think so.
Yeah. It was like the Huawei phones. It's just so strange, I think, how that is. How
Well,
America just randomly like decides, no, we don't like that company. We're not gonna allow its products in here.
it's for national security purposes. I'm sure is the reason. Which
Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't America spying on everyone all the time? And it's
yeah,
like, oh, they're spying on us. Oh no. It's the mirror.
yeah.
They're
Well,
upset with the mirror.
it's looked at like this. When you okay, for instance, say you go play a game of billiards with somebody, pool. You go play a pool game, and there's one pocket that's messed up. Well, everybody knows it's messed up, and it's the same for everybody. So you hedge your bets on what you do when you play that pocket. It's the same with spying. Everybody knows everybody's spying. What you do with it is up to you. You try to stop it any way you can on your end and try to perpetrate it as much as you can on the other. And depending on, let's see who would play the game of, who has better technology, on how you can get around that. I think it's funny because in I think it was the 1950s, Russia had gifted one of the U.S. embassies a plaque, a United States emblem. It was hand carved and everything, and they had it gifted to them with a student. And it was in the office for, I think, a couple years before they realized that it was actually a spy device. It was listening to conversations that were in that office for years, because of a little, very low tech spy device that was put in it. So there's no end to it. But yeah, oh, for sure. Everybody that can spy on anyone they are. There's no question about that.
Yeah, for sure. And they got satellite now and so many other things, and it's like, who really cares at this point?
Well, it's going to get to the point where spying is obsolete. You know what I mean? I think.
Isn't it kind of like already there? I mean, it's like
it's getting there, and that's why you see the unnervedness of a lot of governments. Everyone, all this unnerved activity, they're acting. Well, look what happened during COVID. They reacted very not intelligently, because they didn't. There's no way for them to cover their tracks, and there's also no way for them to say they had people's best interest in mind when now we know certain information was already known. So when it gets to the point where you can't hide things, this ain't the 1800s anymore. You can't. There's DNA. There's just things that you can't hide anymore.
Like Biden pooping himself all the time.
Yeah, whatever.
Like at the D-Day ceremony. Oh my gosh, wasn't that something?
I didn't know anything about
that. See that?
No.
Okay.
He pooped himself.
It was like during the during one of the main like parts where they were like, "Welcome everyone," and then he's just like leaning over and like clearly pooping in his pants, like, you know.
Wow.
And then his wife had to lead him away, like left the French president and all the veterans there because he pooped himself, you know, before
I
this
just
smell started to bother people.
I can't believe I actually know people that voted for him. You know,
Yeah. I hear you.
it
I
just
hear you.
boggles my mind. But I've
Oh.
given up on the whole voting thing. There's just
Yeah, I mean, what legitimacy is there in America anymore? It's
well, almost anywhere. Australia's getting like that, and
yeah.
I'm sure you are more politically involved in your area. I'm sure you've seen it.
Well, in Canada, it's pretty good actually, as far as I can tell. But yeah, what I know the Americans laugh at us for what do you call it? Doing our ballots in pencil.
That's the way I think it should be.
Yeah, but it's just pencil. You can just erase that, right? I mean, I think they switched to pen after people were like commenting on it. We just didn't
Mhm.
think of it. You know, it's just like in Canada, we have like election observers at every single like station, and they observe like the counting of the ballot, and we've got paper records for everything that happens.
I was an
So even if
election
there's
observer
electronic
before.
machines, yeah, yeah. So I mean, it seems pretty legit. I know it used to be. I was talking to some old people, and they were saying that back in the day, the election house was like your neighbor, or like a few
The
doors
fire
down.
station.
It wasn't even the fire station; it was like someone's house. It's like you show up at their house and like vote there, and then, like that's where the whole ballot counting would be. Anyways, I guess we'll move on because we kind of
Yeah, I don't know
dredged.
where Ed went.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with him. Has he said anything else? Let's see. Messages. Oh, this is annoying. My phone is just frozen for no reason. Why? See the creator in all things. Okay. Well,
My phone was
uh,
freezing too earlier, but I was in the house, so that's why I come outside.
okay. Fred said his phone was freezing in the house. Is better outside. All right. Walk in the grass. Maybe. I don't know.
Grounding.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of that because at the market, well, like because I often in the morning it's cold and I'm wearing my rubber boots, and then I get there and it's hot, and so I take them off and then I just walk around in the grass. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's very
Oh
nice.
yeah. As soon as
People
I
are
get
often
home from
commenting,
work,
"Oh, you're grounding. You're grounding." Thanks. Yeah. Uh, when reincarnating, oh yeah, let me increase this for the viewers. When reincarnating, our soul is always born into the space-time that we know of as Earth's future after their previous lives? Or is it possible that a soul could choose to reincarnate into the space-time that we know of as Earth's past if there was a certain lesson to be learned that was only available then? For more clarity, I'll give an example. Say my current life ends in 2053 and I'm to be reincarnated. Is it still going to be reincarnated in the future after 2053? Or is it possible to reincarnate in, say, the year 805 or 1597 or sometime before the year 2053? I'm cool and I'm aware of your query, my brother. This is a query to which we must say that there is only the concept of past, present, and future within this third density illusion, so that when you are incarnated in your present incarnation, you have learned the lessons of this incarnation to the best of your ability, and find the time of movement from this density into the inner realms of this earth to consider reincarnation. The reincarnation will be within this earth in the appropriate future time. For in the past there is only that which has been learned in the past. In the present is where you exist at this time, and future incarnations will be in the future of this earth, for it is that place wherein you walk the journey of the seeker and the truth in a sequential order of past, present, and future. Is there a follow-up query, my brother? Thank ya. So, I guess it's linear.
Yeah. Well, they worded it that way. It makes sense because, to me, what that's saying is you come here to learn a lesson, and you might have to have 157 incarnations to learn that lesson. So your soul is going to get put in place of a set of linear incarnations that take place in your present time, one right after the other. Seemingly. That's why they say seemingly.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. I think basically, if I remember correctly, it's kind of it's just easier on you if you go forward in time, because you're kind of like building on what you've done before, and so it's got that nice aspect of it of you going forward in time. And like going to a new planet is like totally blank slate, right? And like if you were able to go back in time, then you might try to do things differently, and then you get into like these weird spirals. And like did you hear about that time when the Americans were first experimenting with time travel, and then they kept doing like just like in the movies, they thought that time was linear, or like time was like a flat, and that they needed to fix the timeline or something like that. And then at some point they were going back in time, and then the aliens just like stopped them, and they were like, hold on a minute, guys, you're just being really stupid right now. You're really messing up the time thing by trying to go back and fix things. That's not how it works. You just need to stop messing around with it, and it will go back to the way that it should be, by itself. You don't have to like fix it. It's kind of like it's springy, like the time fabric or whatever. And by going back in time, they were kind of like making whorls and gnarls, and it was like upsetting to the timekeepers or whatever. And so they were like, stop it. Stop it right now. And yeah. And I think the kind of the updated version of time travel, like, the fact that there's multiple dimensions to it, is it was in one of those Avengers movies where they did some time travel, and I think it was the Iron Man was saying how if you do something, in a different timeline, you will experience the karmic effects. And so in your own timeline, when you get back, and that's basically it. So it's just kind of like a more confusing way of living when you use time travel. Personally, I think that you're better off just staying, in the present and sequentially moving forward. For the vast majority of people, this is the the preferred way of living life, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you could make a million movies about all the potential things to screw up from doing that wrong.
Yeah. Well, and it's much kind of harder to screw up just going about life and as it's meant to be. Forward and linear.
I would have the question though of this. I mean, it's my understanding that we end up forming little soul groups, and like what do you call it? You have your higher mind, and then you have your group mind, your higher group mind, whatever. When you incarnate in your series of incarnations with the generalized soul group, I guess you would say, does that mean that you stay in the same 3D family lines for a long period of time, or do you bounce all over the earth?
You might. Like, I know my wife and our first son. So my first son is my wife's grandfather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're kind of in the same kind of lineage there, but I just kind of intercepted there, you could say. But actually, I was married to my wife about 1,400 years ago but we were reversed roles, so I was the female and she was the male.
Okay. See, things like that make me wonder.
Hmm.
What different dynamics take place, and when you do a past life regression, are you going to know that?
Well, I guess, I mean, I knew it, but I didn't really do a regression. I just kind of remembered. Here,
Mm.
Ed. Does Ed need help here? Oh, here, I'm gonna send him the link again.
Because I know Vincent Jenna, he's one of those people that he can look at a person and see, oh, your energy is this, and you've interacted with this person before. Oh, you guys were married in a past life, he just knows those things.
Yes. Sometimes you know that kind of stuff. Personally, I don't optimize for that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not interested in other people so much. I'm more of a, I guess, a solitary bee, you could say, or something like that. Um, but yeah, I'm sure, like, if people want to, they can optimize for being able to see into other people and that kind of stuff and their soul connections. And sometimes I see it, and like with the Mennonites, I am really confused because like so many of them are so similar looking, and I'm just wondering if maybe is it like so some
Same
of them.
person.
Well, so some of them are, no, not the same person, but it's just like sometimes they're brothers, but they look very different. And then like one of the brothers looks like the child of another guy, and I'm like, is that infidelity there, or is there something else going on? Is there, like, they used to be part of the same soul group, and like they're used to having a certain kind of facial experience? I don't know. Oh, another good example, I think an even better example would be the Tecopians. Do you know about the Tecopians?
No. Is that like the
Tecopia.
Hittites?
No, Tecopia is kind of like this cute little place. Here, I'll show you. It's like, you know how they're always talking about utopia?
Yeah.
Utopia is not a real place, but Tecopia is a real place, and it's better than any utopia that has ever been written about. It is the real thing. And um, here, see, this is Tecopia.
It's an
Can you see
island
it?
with a pond.
Well, yeah, I think that this pond, this is an old image, that this pond is grown in now. But basically, absolutely every square meter of this is a food forest.
Oh,
And
okay.
they've been managing it as a food forest for like over 1,000 years, like 3,000 years. And so they have like a super sustainable way of life. But yeah, I saw a documentary, and like if you look at the people's faces, like their ethnicities are just like so mixed. Like some guy looks Asian, some guy looks white, like he's from Britain, and some like, but they're all related to each other. But I think it's just like different people in the soul world were like, hey, you know what, I want to be incarnated on Tecopia. And they just like get incarnated in Tecopia, but maintaining their usual facial appearance. So they're usually Asian, so they look like an Asian Tecopian, or they look like a European Tecopian, or they look like a Filipino Tecopian, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a cool kind of thing about it. I don't know if there's some pictures about it. Yeah, that's just people pretending to be Tecopian. Yeah, it's because it's a hard place to get to. It takes several days sail. You see,
Where's
like
it at?
this.
In the South Pacific?
Yeah. Here, I don't know. Is that the closest island? Here, what's the measure distance?
I'm sure they don't have an airport.
No, they don't. Distance to here, it is 200 kilometers by sail to that one. What about 215 kilometers? So it's over 200 kilometers to the closest place, because yeah, there's nothing else, nothing on the other side, and it's not on the way anywhere, so like no one ever passes by there, or like very rarely. Like you basically, if you're going here, then you're going to visit these guys, and they do a lot of singing and dancing and stuff like that. They're really chill people. And it's a high island, so that it keeps like raising up, so they get more land as time progresses.
Oh.
But
So what? It's there's a magma pocket underneath it that's probably swelling.
No, it's basically, you see, it's like there's like a mountain chain,
Yeah,
and I think the
they're all
plates are just
volcanoes.
compressing. Yeah, well, these are not volcanoes. It's basically, you see there's like a plate over here and a plate over there, and then this is
Oh, they're
compressing.
smashing together.
Yeah, and this is like one of those places where it's just going up. Yeah, 193 kilometers. Oh wow, that's under 200 kilometers. But anyways, it's still a long time. It's several days
Yeah.
journey by sail, and then you can't fly there because you can't land anywhere. The way is too choppy. The waves are too choppy. Okay, so anyways, I guess we'll move on.
Yeah.
Because we went way off topic. Okay, I have a query regarding the total solar eclipse and what that's coming out. I always view these as celestial and spiritual events, and I'm wondering if, when these events occur, is there a particularly this one with where the Earth is right now, and those of us in third density, is there a particular focus or prayer or idea that we should focus on as this celestial event occurs, or does it make no difference? I'm cool and aware of your query, my sister. We would suggest that when these types of celestial events occur within your solar system, that there is a certain kind of power of love and light that is revealed to the entities upon the planet, who may use it in a way in which this love and light is reflected to others about one, whether it be by prayer, by the relationship obtained and maintained with others, or by visualizations, shall we say, so that this energy that is released at this time may be utilized in a variety of ways to aid those about one and oneself. For there is much that is revealed in the subconscious mind as well as the conscious mind when the energies are invited to be a part of the consciousness of the seeker of truth. What? Did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay, what does it say?
You mean a general synopsis of it?
Sure. Like, what did it mean to you?
Kind of, to me, that sounds like they're just saying that it's a reminder to just be nice to each other. Change it. Yeah, there's energies and everything, but all of those things, just all it does is stir your emotion, which makes your mind think. And it reminds us that we need to be nicer to each other. It takes your mind off of the 3D for a moment. And instead of it being something bad that you see on the news, it's something good.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I know, like, in ancient times, certain cultures would like use an eclipse as a reason to be mean to each other.
Yeah, and sacrifice children and everything. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. It was just ridiculous.
But it's also been the cause for stopping an entire battle.
Fair enough too. So, yeah, it's been a mixed bag. It all depends on how we interact with it.
Yeah, it depends on what you make with it. Pretty much,
there's Ed.
It's there's Ed. With the universe being neutral, it's only positive or negative depending on what we do with it. Yeah, you have two examples right there. They either we could sacrifice our children or look in awe at the cosmos and the cosmic dance of all the different planetary structures and remind ourselves to be nicer to each other. I don't know. We'll figure out on the way to the altar. Like, come on, just be nice to each other.
Yeah. I agree. Hey, Ed.
Hey guys, I actually just kind of ran like a little mini exorcism and LBRP on my phone.
Oh, okay. And now it's working?
And now it's working. Like, I restarted it, and it's maybe the best it's worked in like ages.
Wow.
Like, seriously. Like
so you had a demon in your phone.
Or there's some kind of negative something affecting the signal.
Yeah.
Stopping it from connecting.
No,
so I thought I'd just trying to break. I told you earlier, when I put the pendulum over it, It was doing weird shit. It was like vibrating rather than
Oh.
spinning.
Weird.
You know.
See,
Oh, okay.
you
So
know what I did the other day? I on Tuesday I saged my house.
Mhm.
So I mean, maybe that wouldn't have anything to do with it fucking up my phone, would it? You would think it
well,
would
this
help
is
it.
what I'm saying.
No,
Like, you know,
should help. Yeah.
can I say
So
I
last
mean,
time I
you're
saved
connected
my house?
now.
yeah, but I mean, if it's messing with the signal, there's nothing I can do in my house to stop that. I have to do it some other way.
Hmm.
Anyway, last time I saved my house, I woke up outside. It sucked.
You know what? I didn't know this. But if you, I'm sure everybody here. I'm probably the only person that burned sage for the first time. But when you burn those sage sticks, if you don't put them out, they don't go out.
No, that's the point, dude. This is the point. It's a smoke one.
Yeah.
But I put it. I have a little conch shell that I use for a bowl. And my friend, she gave me the sage and everything to burn. Well, I went around the house with it while it was burning, but I just set it down in the conch shell, and thank goodness I set it down in the shell, because I come out by it the next day and I'm like, I still smell the sage. I'm like, it's not burning. And I went over and touched it and it was a pile of ash. I'm like, oh crap.
Oh, it
You
all
need
burned
one of them
out,
little
eh?
cigar cutters, man. You know that put it in the tube and then you snip it.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole tube
Mhm.
burnt.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't do the saging because like we don't like smoke and stuff like that in the house. But you know
I love
the
incense. I love incense, filling the air with vibrating, powerful
Yep.
chemical molecules. Yeah, okay,
yeah
smoke's not
we
great for
used
you, but
I
the
used to do
spiritual
incense,
the
but
spiritual use of them is just wonderful.
not so much anymore.
They have outdoor incense sticks. I have some.
Wow,
They're
that
huge.
yeah, they must be an
I
outdoor
just take them
one.
outside and just make like a little ring around me. Like,
I think they're the ones I have are 3/8 of an inch diameter.
Hmm.
They're huge. Yeah.
I used to have loads of them.
Yeah. Well, the big thick ones like that, they burn for hours.
That sounds cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah, if
I
you're
use it all the time, man. I probably burn like I don't know 10 a day. I'm a 20 a day incense user.
And so yeah,
So
incense.
what I miss anyway, guys?
I remember there was a Buddhist monastery place, and they were like, "We're going through too many incense sticks, so we're gonna burn just one incense stick for the whole congregation." Instead of everyone giving their own incense stick, for because they had like 1,000 members, and when you have 1,000 incense sticks going, it's expensive, you know.
Yeah. But
well,
like,
that's
have you
when
ever
you
heard of
do like
temple?
what the Catholic Church does, where they have the priest that has the incense burner that they carry. It has a lot of incense in it, but there's
Mhm,
5,000 people in the church, so you
mhm.
got to have something with a lot of incense in it. Yeah, you would do something
Well,
A
like that. I would
censer
imagine.
or something it's called, isn't it?
Censer,
but it,
yes.
But in the Orthodox Church, everybody gets their own beeswax candle, or
Ah,
multiple beeswax candles. Well, it's just like in the temple. You know how in the temple, they would just outside the temple, you would buy your sacrificial animal, and then you
Mm.
would bring it in to be sacrificed. And so, just like that in the Orthodox Church, just before you enter the church, there's like a wooden building, and then the priest sells you candles that you will sacrifice inside the church. So it's the same
that
thing.
doesn't sound culty at all.
No, but it's the Orthodox Church right there. That's how it's done. Like there was a picture. What do you call it? Putin, in China, and he was put in one of those sticks. One of those candles. I mean, 'cause that's just how Orthodoxy works. I mean, it's just a spin on the old temple stuff. All right. So, well, this is the last question of the session. I have one. Is there anything that would encourage Jim today? I'm cool and I'm aware of your query, my sister. We feel this instrument is most surprised with and is not allowing us to speak as freely as we do wish. Oh, we shall give him a moment. Inaudible group laughter. We repeat that we are most pleased to say that this instrument has been honored to have been offered something that would be pleasing, and we find that the simple offer is that. What? Uh, uh, hold on a second. Let me open this. And this instrument thanks you for the offer. We feel that this offer is symbolic of the entire gathering for this afternoon of this group, for each has offered to each other the portion of the self that is of the most importance spiritually, and has made the offering in an authentic manner in which each within the circle may feel the love and light of the Creator flowing to them as each has shared that which you call the spiritual experiences within the round robin. This is the nature of the creation that exists for all is one, the one creator, and all have this ability to share the love of the creator with each around it. And this is what we are all here to do, and we are most grateful as is this instrument, and those offerings have been made. We thank each of you for being authentic seekers of truth, and that the truth we are all one, and the creator exists in all beings. And whatever you do on your spiritual path allows the creator to know itself in ways that would not be possible had you not made certain choices that you make and given the creator more food for growth, shall we say. At this time, we shall take our leave of this instrument and this group. We thank each in this group for being so conscientious in your seeking, so joyful in your sharing, and so unified in your desire to seek and serve the one in each other. We are known to use those of Kuo. We bid you adieu in love and the light of the one infinite creator, Adonai Vasumbaragos.
Adonai.
Yeah,
Lovely
I
quote,
did it.
dude. Well,
Mm.
not really sure it's a dude, but like, Andre reads
mhm.
it really well like a dude, so I assume like this. My head is a dude.
So what was it that makes it? I don't know. I think he was just happy all along. I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. What's wrong with Jim?
I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with Jim.
What does he need help with on his? What's he doing? It's a bit ominous, isn't it?
That would encourage Jim today. I don't know. I haven't been to one of those the Seattle group things because they're usually on Saturday mornings and it's hard for me to do those.
Well, I only ever see you guys. I just see it as like a thing about like loyalty and like
Oh.
Oh, now
Oh,
Fred's
okay.
gone. What's going on?
Oh no, what happened? Yeah, I don't know.
But
It's
I
strange.
see you guys as like you guys. You're my little social memory complex. Like
Yeah.
I'm afraid to join other ones.
You
What if
don't
they
have
don't
to be.
polarize the same as us?
No, they're still polarized well. Like here,
I
look.
know, but we're like one. They're like
Look,
they're
but
other at the minute, and it's
this one
scary.
sees it's gonna be your in your time zone or whatever.
Yeah, I need to find it. Like I said, I really want because
Look, if you
honestly,
join,
I
yeah,
did this meditation where you try to connect to that way, then Hanon,
hmm
and then Quo, and then Ra, and then Quo. Yeah.
hmm
So you just kind of like reach out and try and feel them. And I didn't really get much from Latway, but I got quite a kind of strong thing from Hanon. Yeah, I didn't get anything from the others. And he basically was trying to say, well, I don't know. I got this kind of like download, I suppose, saying that I should set up an English one.
hmm
That's why when you said about it and you got up your little chart of when the other ones in the time zones and I was like,
here,
I don't know whether that's quite what I was
4
told to
p.m.
do.
Look, this
Yeah,
is gonna be this one. It's gonna be 4 p.m. your time.
right.
It's gonna be transition to 4D.
That sounds wonderful. Where's that one?
So it's here in the Seattle group. Here, I'll put it in the chat link here, and you can.
I
click
just
on
feel
it.
like I don't know, man. I don't miss. I don't want. Oh,
You don't have to, man. I'm not forcing you. I'm just saying
I know
you're
you're
nice
not, dude.
people and
I'm
all
not
that.
saying that. I'm not saying that. Everyone's lovely. We're all one, right? But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna miss this. It's like
This isn't going away.
Okay, don't scare me, dude. You know how
Just an
I get
opportunity
abandonment
for you to
issues and
join
stuff.
another group if you were so inclined.
Well, like I said, that's why I haven't. I see it as like a loyalty thing. I see it's like, no, this is our social memory complex.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I don't know whether anyone will like me. Come on, how long did I go for? Like it was like maybe 2 years before I stopped apologizing after every sentence I said. I'd have to go back to that, Andre, dude.
You don't have to. Here,
I don't.
June
I
1st.
just like that. I'm weird.
People, when they first join the Seattle group, they're always very talkative, and that's okay. Here, look, see, Saturday, June 1st, they had Jim McCarty on.
Wow. Well, so I could actually chat to him at some point.
Well, you can ask him a question. Like, it's very
Seriously?
structured when Jim's on or any of them. Basically, it's mostly Jonathan Tong, like, kind of talking to him, and then he conveys the questions that you put in the chat, or sometimes he lets you ask them in person.
Okay.
But you get to kind of see him and
would be amazing.
Meditate with him and
Really?
that kind of stuff.
Oh, what? Dude,
Yeah.
I so want to do this, man. Okay, maybe I should take an active interest in other groups. I just love this one so much, man.
Yeah, and you can keep attending here too.
Please do.
They also had
attending.
they also have like Trisha and Austin sometimes, but I don't see where they are. Here, Gary, Trisha, and Austin.
Does anyone know where all of
March
our
12th.
lot have gone to? Where has anyone from our lot gone anywhere else?
Our group?
Yeah, like you know.
Well, I know Ray. I see him at the other Seattle group. Ray, are you there?
What Trevor? What about Trevor or like
Trevor? No, I've never seen him in any of the other groups. But Amanda, she used to go to the other groups.
Des or
Des? No, I haven't seen Des.
Michelle, Benet, or anyone?
Benet, no. Michelle, maybe.
Robert,
Robert, no, I don't think so. Maybe sometimes.
It's just, man, I just miss everybody, you know?
Yeah, well, I think I forgot to make an event this time. I'll try to make an event for next time.
It doesn't seem like anyone bothers anyway, man. It seems like, I don't know.
What do you mean? Last time we had quite a turnout. We had Robert.
I know, man. I know. It was wicked, man. I really enjoyed last week.
So...
Just, you know, we've had so many awesome characters through the kind of, like, the few years we've been doing this. You know? I kind of miss people, you know? I feel like you kind of form friendships in these groups. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I play so much like relevance on it because, you know, as I've said before, I don't have many people that I can communicate with on this level.
Yeah. The next one we're doing is March 23rd.
I'm talking about. Is there more?
Well, the next one we'll do is March 23rd.
Okay. Has anyone read the channeling from I can't remember the name of it, but the South American thing, and they say that they're a channeling group, and they channel, and the thing it says that it's like friends with Ra, and I can't remember what it's called. It's South American. Oh, I'll try and find the thing. Give me a sec. Has anyone heard of that though or read it? It was on Facebook a few weeks ago.
I can't see your video. Your video's off.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was like.
Here, I'm gonna see if Fred needs help or something. No. He seems to have left.
Weird night, man, isn't it? Annoying. Why can I never find the things I want to find? It's like Facebook knows what I'm looking for, so it just hides it. It's like it's heard me say
Facebook.
something.
It's like, very hard to find anything on Facebook ever.
It just annoys me, man. But then, to be fair, all kind of technology and social media and any of this stuff annoys me. I'm just so rubbish at it. I am not a cyber wizard like you, my friend.
Oh no! Oh well,
no, man, I'm terrible.
Okay. Most people aren't.
Like I got really, really into it.
That's why they pay me.
When I was doing my genetics and stuff, I got so into kind of like all the bioinformatics and protein modeling and like there's so much incredible like stuff with DNA code and like quantum like a modeling of protein interactions. It was incredible stuff. But then like I don't know, since doing all this sort of spiritual side of things, I just haven't really bothered with technology at all. I've just completely dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably going to be on that old fucking basilisk list accidentally, just so I haven't really taken much interest.
No, I don't think so, man. Don't worry about it. I think you'd have to like, intentionally be a threat or a danger.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a threat. I do love you, robot. Honestly, I'm not a threat.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. Then you're fine.
Oh no, I shouldn't use the word robot. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. Robot means slave. Ah! Oh
no. Wait, was this the image? Yeah. Okay, sure. And okay, creating the event.
Why can't you just work on brain? Why do I have to push stuff and button juice my eyes?
Oh,
Why can't you just read my mind and do what you want? What I want you to do? I know you can read my mind. Why can't you just do what I want you to do?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I was talking to the computer thing. It's got like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fred says he's having trouble getting back in.
Tell him to exercise his phone.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I'll tell him that.
Tell him do a little LBRP.
Well,
yeah.
Ed recommends exercising your phone. Here's the link.
You just send him a link to an LBRP.
What did he do? Well, like, bless your phone with love.
Yeah, just tell him to get an incense stick. Or some kind of smoke, sage, anything at all that you can engulf it in smoke. Even a fucking joint if he has to, whatever. Just surround it to kind of block off the thing from the outside, and then charge the phone with a positive energy of resonance to block any interaction.
Just charge the phone, positive energy, block any negative interaction.
And then just do a little LBRP around yourself.
Yeah. This is funny.
Isn't it? This is cool, man. I like this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's 5 minutes left of the group.
Well, then why not just do the basics of how to exercise home devices?
Sure. Okay. Okay. I give a summary of how to exercise devices which may be experiencing negative readings, so they work better for connecting to meetings. Send.
Awesome. And then after he's done the whole process, he's like cleansed it, washed his aura, put his little crystal castle around himself. Then we start the phone. Turn it off and on and again, like any good IT support will tell you.
Here. Okay. Once it's finished, visualization technique, environmental harmonization. Incorporate these practices regularly. Here. Well. Okay. Copy. And there we go. All right. Yeah, we were just.
I still can't find this thing I'm looking for, man. It's well annoying. Sorry.
It's okay. So, yeah.
Oh well, sorry guys. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. I can't remember the guy's name, so it really makes it difficult to then just find it if you can't don't know it.
The world is so big.
It is, right? Much smaller than it used to be, though.
Well, it'll get bigger again as energy is, gets less cheap and stuff.
Yeah, but
Like,
hopefully, by the point that we get to that, we'll all be starting to awaken and we'll just be able to telepathically communicate.
So you see, like this here, almost everyone in Ontario lives like below this line over here. And then but Ontario is like all of this. So all of this stuff is just like owned by the government, and they don't allow you to homestead it or anything like that. And it's all
That's
like
so mad, man. Why not?
And like they have this law that you're not allowed to be more than 21 days in any particular spot in Crown Land because they don't want anyone to have any basis for calling anything private property. They don't want anyone to grow anything or do anything or
It's
anything
just
productive.
terrible though, man. Why?
Yeah. Why? Because I don't know. I think in the Constitution or whatever, when they originally wrote it, the government was gave all the natural resources to themselves.
Well,
they don't want.
We are England.
Well, yeah, and they didn't want anyone else to have those resources, and so all of this stuff, almost no one lives there. The only thing that happens to it is that lumber companies will pay them a few cents per acre to completely destroy our forests.
Oh man, that sucks, dude.
Yeah,
and that then sucks. What, they won't let anyone live on there, but they're happy to sell in the forest for wood, mate.
For toilet paper,
dude,
not
that
even
stuff
for wood.
Just sickens me, man. What?
Yeah, yeah, and then you know what else? They spray it all with Roundup by plane to kill all of the deciduous species and all of the fire retardant species so that it burns better. For all the fires. And then they're like, oh no, it's climate change or whatever. It's it's gross mismanagement.
Bonkers, mate.
It's gross mismanagement is what it is.
Okay, don't get me wrong, right? I understand.
Fred is here. Fred managed to make it just for our closing.
Dude, it worked.
Yeah, I told you it would,
worked.
Dude.
You did the exorcism.
Yes.
Worked? Awesome.
Okay, this is I didn't get to read. I shut my phone off, but I didn't get to read everything that you wrote afterward. You just said to bless your phone and think of love and light and everything, and so it's just so weird. I lit an incense on the porch, and I'm standing right here on my porch. I lit an incense on the porch, and I just did a real quick. I do when I do my gateways and that, when I do my energy bubble, I do 9 ohms in a row in a meditative breathing. So I'm doing my 9 ohms, and I just start thinking loving thoughts and protecting myself and my phone and my energy bubble increasing. And I heard this whap on the other side of the house, and my dog went nuts. I have aluminum siding. Something hit my siding.
Wow.
I don't know what the hell it was. I turned my phone on and it worked fine.
Amazing, man. Amazing. I'm glad.
So I think that sound into my house,
smashing through it because you threw it so hard away from you with your awesome super powers, dude. You fucking wizard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Can I just say the name I was trying to remember is the Quetzalcoatl contact.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah. Have you read that one?
Well, I know about Quetzalcoatl.
Okay, so there's on some of the Law One sites they had it's basically like new channeling, redcordchanneling.com or something, but they had channeling from Kotal, yeah, and it literally talks like Ra. It's like apparently him and Ra are friends, and like some of the stuff in there was really quite cool, man. Like the South American pyramids, they've got like the flat tops and that.
Mhm.
He said that's because the initiation that they do there was they took you up to the top of the pyramid, and from there you'd be able to see so far, and so the perspective from the top of them is what gave you your connection and like the connection to oneness and the understanding that you're a creator and all these other things. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I'm hoping there's gonna be more.
Well, there's 3 so far apparently.
Yeah, like honestly, I'd give them a read. Like they're quite short. There's not much in them, but I don't know. I'm quite hopeful for a good contact from those guys.
Can you send me a link to them? You said it's an LNL channeling.
Here, I can send you the link here in the chat and paste, and then you can see it. I have it up on the screen here. So we communicate overjoyed with this group, great desire to be of service. We have indicate their.
Oh, dude, you got to do this one in like a South American accent. Like, yeah, gringo kind of thing. It'd be well funny.
I don't know how to do a South American accent.
Oh, come on. You can do it, dude. You can do English really well. Just like, channel the, inner Antonio Banderas.
What do you call it? So we find that you maybe work around minor obstacle. Careful consideration. Okay, background noises. I don't know. This is technical. This is just like technical difficulties.
Yeah, so I think at the beginning it kind of goes through all the same stuff that Carter goes through, where they challenge it and they kind of like make sure it's from like the creator.
So here, so-called ego. All right. Well, we can review it some other time. But yeah, it's past my bedtime.
No, it's all good. I just thought like you guys might want to have a look. I don't know whether we wanted to talk about it if there isn't any quote channelings or whatever you'd like to.
Like well, there's still a bunch more quote channelings, and I already set up the one for next week.
So okay, cool. Oh, we'll I don't know whether we caught up or whatever.
No, we haven't caught up. We still got 3 more to go through.
Oh, that's cool. Then, yay!
Awesome. They're making new ones all the time.
Then in that case, I suggest you read it because I found it quite enjoyable.
All right. I'll give it a chance when I can. All right. So leave you in the love and light of the one infinite creator. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one infinite creator. Adonai.
I love you.
Hey, Andre.
Okay, yeah.
I found that